Phil Collins is no longer able to play the drums, piano or even stand. The Genesis star, 71, bid farewell to his fans last weekend while confirming his performance at the O2 Arena would be his last. Phil reunited with Tony Banks and Mike Rutherford on stage for the first time in 14 years for one final tour, The Last Domino, but he appeared quite frail throughout and was forced to sit on a chair. The legendary musician, who sadly can no longer hold a drumstick, got his son to play the drums for him and now has to walk with a stick. Over the last 13 years, Phil has endured an agonizing health battle and been plagued with a seemingly never-ending list of medical issues. Now Phil has performed live for the final time. Here is a look back at painful problems he has faced. Dislocated vertebrae. Get the news you want straight to your inbox. Sign up for a Mirror newsletter here. Drumming on the 2007 Genesis tour caused Phil to dislocate vertebrae in his upper neck. To repair the damage caused by his posture while performing, Phil had surgery in April 2009 but it didn't go to plan. Unfortunately, the operation caused him to lose the feeling in his fingers and he could only hold drumsticks if they were taped to his hands. In a message published on the Genesis website, Phil explained, "Somehow, during the last Genesis tour, I dislocated some vertebrae in my upper neck and that affected my hands. After a successful operation on my neck, my hands still can't function normally. Maybe in a year or so it will change, but for now it is impossible for me to play drums or piano." Insisting he wasn't distressed about his prognosis, Phil moved to Switzerland to spend time with his third and now ex-wife, Oriane Seavey, and their young sons Nick and Matt. Acute pancreatitis. During a turbulent period, Phil's marriage to Oriane collapsed and she and the children eventually moved to Miami. "Within months you're drinking vodka from the fridge in the morning and falling over in front of the kids, you know," he explained a few years later. "But it was something I lived through, and I was lucky to live through it and get through it. I was very close to dying." The harrowing situation came to a head in 2012 when he was rushed to a Swiss hospital with acute pancreatitis. Phil was just hours from death and he even heard the doctor ask his family whether his will was in order. The harrowing situation came to a head when he was rushed to a Swiss hospital with acute pancreatitis. Speaking to the Mirror about this ordeal, Phil said, "My organs were kind of FD. It was spirits, corrosive stuff." He was admitted to intensive care, before later going into rehab in Wiltshire, but that wasn't enough to get him to kick the habit. In 2013, doctors told him his pancreas was showing signs of permanent damage and he quit drinking for 3 years. "I didn't drink for all that time but now I am quite capable of having 2 or 3 glasses of wine, saying goodnight and walking away," he told the Mirror. Can't stand. In 2014, Phil revealed he still could not properly play the drums due to an undiagnosed nerve problem rather than arthritis. The following year he underwent an operation on his spine to fix the issue, but he was still unable to drum with his left hand. This caused another problem as the surgery to his spine caused nerve damage in his foot, meaning he could no longer stand for any significant amount of time. "I have 8 screws in my back but it left my foot numb," he told the Mirror, explaining how his bad drumming posture caused his injuries. Frail Phil performed sitting down from the very first night of Genesis reunion tour in a black chair and had a microphone placed low down in front of him. but he did manage to stand up briefly alongside his bandmates as they thanked the crowd. "Of course, my health does change things, doing the show seated changes things," he explained. "But I actually found on my recent solo tours, it didn't get in the way, the audience were still listening and responding. It's not the way I would have written it, but it's the way that it is." Phil, who now walks with a stick, was unable to drum himself, so had his son Nicholas take over on stage. "I'm kind of physically challenged a bit, which is very frustrating because I'd love to be playing up there with my son," he said on BBC Breakfast. When asked if he was able to drum at all these days, he replied, No, I would love to, but, I can barely hold a stick with this hand, so there are certain physical things that get in the way." Black Eyes poor Phil suffered a nasty fall in his bathroom in 2014 which resulted in a black eye and bruising to his face. His team shared a photograph on Facebook of bruised face and explained what had happened, jokingly writing, "Oops. Phil said you should have seen the other guy." They added, "But unfortunately Phil did take a fall on Wednesday night and bumped his head. He wanted you all to know he is okay and soldiering on. We are all wishing him a speedy recovery." He managed to turn up to a tour event a few days after and gave a cheeky smile while showing off his black eye. Phil told the Evening Standard, "I fell in the bathroom. I went to sit down, and in fact instead of sitting down, I went forward. So it's one of those things. I'm fine, but unfortunately bruising takes a long time to go down." Nasty fall and eye gash. The following year, Phil had another fall on the way to the toilet, but this time it was a lot worse. He was rushed to hospital after the nasty hotel room fall and was left with a severe gash near his eye. Phil suffers from drop foot as a result of a back operation which makes it difficult to walk, a statement on his Facebook page said. He rose in the middle of the night to go to the toilet and slipped in his hotel room, hitting his head in the fall on a chair. He was taken to hospital where he had stitches for a severe gash on his head close to his eye and is recovering well. He will be kept under observation for 24 hours. Sadly, he was forced to cancel 2 of the London shows after the accident. In 2017, Phil also revealed that he is a type 2 diabetic and had received treatment with a hyperbaric chamber after developing an infected diabetic abscess on his foot. "I have type 2 diabetes, and I got an abscess on my foot that went septic," he said. "I was told to spend a week in a hyperbaric chamber. Do you have a story to share? Email webfeatures@trinitymirror.com